Now let's invite the next group to the stage. Up next, we have the topic of mindful minds for our next group. Please join me in welcome the third group, led by Zheng Zhaoxiang and Chen Ziwei, under the guidance of their advisor, Luo Yixun.
Good afternoon. We'd first like to start off with a quick survey. We'd like all of you to join us, including the judges. Please raise your hand if you've ever been a student before. So all of you, I suppose most of us have been a student before, great. And please keep your hands raised if you've ever felt anxious or stressed during your time as a student. I see a lot of hands. And lastly, only if you've ever received any form of formal health education on mental, then put your hands down. I still see a lot of hands, so interesting.
So we all know what it's like to feel overwhelmed, but most of us never learn how to handle it. So that's why this matters to everyone in this room today. And it's bigger than just us. It's about breaking two global goals. SDG 3, health and well-being, and SDG 4, quality education. And we're here to show how these two can work together to tackle health and well-being challenges we face every day.
That's right. And before we move on further, I'd like to give you a little bit of a background information. So what's the reality like in Taiwan? In the year of 2022, the Convention of the Rights of the Child Review meeting happened right here in Taipei, Taiwan. The committee questioned upon the rising youth suicide rate here in Taiwan. But our officials blamed high-rising buildings being the main culprit. Because of the increased number of high-rise buildings here in Taiwan, there were a lot of adolescents and young people impulsively jumping from the buildings to commit suicide, totally missing out on the true issue, mental well-being. So that's when we, as students, started asking ourselves, what can we do to help? My name is Chen Ziwei, and this is my partner, Zheng Zhaoxiang.
Let's look at the hard truth. Here in Taiwan, youth suicide rate is 10.7 per 1,000 in 2022. That means 1/3 of students report anxiety or depression. South Korea's numbers are even worse. The rate for those aged 12 to 13 surged from 3.2 to 5 from 2020 to 2021. Furthermore, America's normal children and college students are more anxious than previous generations. And right here at Tech, our counselor Ye Beichen tells us, students are drowning in academic stress but don't know where to find help. This is not some distinct problem. It's happening to our classmates, our friends, and even our hallways.
That is correct. Even in our hallways, this is truly a global wake-up call. It's not just a Taiwan problem. So to fix this, to find a solution, we have analyzed and came down to three main culprits. First being academic stress, moving on to lack of mental health education, and lastly, stigma, as it is seen as a weakness here in Taiwan. And when we think about education, what usually comes to our minds are students. But what about the educators? A US report shows that almost 50% of educators are stressed and overwhelmed. So how can educators educate when they themselves are so stressed and overwhelmed?
So we ask ourselves, how can we give both students and teachers the tools they need? So we develop two-part solution that's already in action. First, Mindful Minds, our app, tackle both education gaps and stigma by offering first, mental health resources. We have videos, news, and podcasts. Second, we have anonymous forums where students and teachers can connect safely. Last, we have mood tracking tools and more resources and information you need. And we plan to post QR code poster around campus so teachers and students can download it right away.
That's correct. However, that is not enough. That's why we have our second part of our plan. We want to cooperate with schools to create stress management. We want to implement awareness campaigns and definitely teachers, counseling, and workflow.
That's right. As students in the field of linguistics, we have already come so far with ourselves. And we're so lucky at Tech with experts from all fields. So we are calling on all of you to join us.
Right. If you have your phone with you today, we'd like you to hold up your phone and scan our QR code to download our Mindful Minds app. Yes, it's true. It's an app that we developed that you can download right now, and we want you to join us and be a part of it. But before you guys leave today, we'd like to leave you with a little challenge, a specific one. we'd like you to start a conversation with your friend, with your colleague, or even your professor upon mental wellness.
That's right. Mental health really, really matters. Even a small step, like sharing your own story, can change someone's life. And together, we can empower students and teachers alike. Thank you.